Elaine Maxwell Black Book. What names are in there, man? You understand how many powerful people probably want this thing to desperately go away?
He killed himself. You want me to? I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
You know, it's the same thing with Epstein's list. It's like, what the hell are these Republicans doing?
Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list.
Well, I mean, listen, they have a right to their opinion, but as someone who has worked as a public defender, as a prosecutor, who's been in that prison system, who's been in the Metropolitan Detention Center, who's been in segregated housing, you know a suicide when you see one.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that.
Yeah, the question had nothing to do with any of those other files. So again, it's just so suspicious. And by the way, so all of them, they didn't just say it's being covered up. They encouraged people to obsess over it. They encouraged people to support Donald Trump as the only person that could blow the lid off of this thing. And also, lest you forget, they made names and fame and social media followings and bank for themselves by talking ad nauseum about this. Dan Bongino did, I don't even, dozens, hundreds of shows about that. And now, I know, he killed himself. Well, how about this? If it turns out that you were just so obsessively wrong about this, and now you know that it wasn't a cover up, then you don't get to just come out and say, I killed himself, shut up about it. No, we need to start to get some apologies. You need to apologize to Joe Biden and the DOJ under Joe Biden and all of those investigators and Attorney General Merrick Garland, you know, the people that you smeared for literally years over this. You should apologize to your audience for apparently, even if not intentionally, which I think it was, but let's say it's not intentionally, wasting their time for years while teaching them to assume that at the heart of every story in politics is an elite cabal of pedophiles or whatever. Could you start to take ownership of the fact that you were apparently epically, cosmically wrong about something that you presented as the most important thing going on in America? And yet we've got none of that. All we've got is, turns out there was nothing. Shut up about it. Let's move on. Let's talk about something else. Some other conspiracy theory. Let's give something else to the peasants. I don't know. I feel like Sharon, I think we're owed a little bit more than that. And maybe not us, they don't care about us, but definitely the MAGA movement is owed more than that.
Yeah, your loyal base. It's like locking someone up for a crime they didn't commit for 60 years and then saying, oh, we found this confession by the real killer. We'll just open the door and let you out. No apology, no nothing, just you're free. Nothing to see here, bye. And I think they got to keep pressing this. If this is your base, you promise them red meat, now give them some.
Yeah, no, 100%. Well, let's turn to some in government that are trying to uncover what's going on. We can have a little bit of a debate. Jamie Raskin, as well as a number of other Democrats, are now pushing for more clarity on what was in those files on Epstein that apparently didn't include a client list, but certainly included a lot of words, a lot that needed to previously be redacted. So what was actually in there? Well, Jamie Raskin, as well as 15 more of the 19 Democrats on the House Judiciary Committee have sent a letter to Pam Bondi yesterday. And they're saying in this letter that the memo that was previously released raises the question of whether the White House has moved to prevent the declassification and public release of the full Epstein files because they implicate President Trump, and whether these massive redaction efforts and the withholding of the files were intended to shield your boss from embarrassing revelations within those files. Along with any documents, the Epstein documents related to that, House Democrats are calling for the publication of the second volume of Special Counsel Jack Smith's report on the dismissed classified documents case against Donald Trump, which remains sealed despite DOJ regulations and longstanding practice. So lest you forget, he committed a bunch of other crimes that we're all supposed to forget about and never bring up again. But I don't think that it's too much to say that you should be able to ask if specific names are in there. I mean, what plausible reason would you have to deny revealing that his name is in there? unless it's just to protect his reputation. What is it, a national security thing? Is it attorney-client privilege? If Donald Trump is mentioned in those things and he's in charge of the investigation and would be in a position to cover it up if he wanted to, again, not stating that he is, but he would be he would have the power to do that, then they should have to reveal that. Now, that said, Sharon, I am curious what you think about this strategy. Jamie Raskin's a serious guy, constitutional lawyer. Some might see this as, I don't know, needlessly provocative or inflammatory to center Trump himself in this thing, but what do you make of it?
Well, it's not like he's holding up, naked pictures of Hunter Biden. It's an investigation, okay? It's an investigation. I do worry, though, that as they go down these different little avenues, because, the Trump administration, the Trump presidency is once again all about chaos. And so when you splinter off into all these different things and you join an investigation that, again, MAGA loyalists are taking care of, putting the pressure on, it may diminish it some, and that's the one fear I have.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that Jamie Raskin is on it. And also bear in mind, it's House Democrats. They don't have any power on these committees right now, so they have to be doing something, and generally getting people's attention onto important things is about what they can do. And I'm not saying that this is the most important thing going on, but if Donald Trump desperately wants people to not talk about it, to not think about it, to not follow up about it, then maybe Jamie Raskin is actually onto something. And by the way, they had a little bit of fun in their letter in pointing out that the administration has repeatedly claimed that President Trump is the most transparent and accessible president in American history. So maybe you could do a little bit less redacting. Again, I'm not saying that he's definitely in there or anything like that. I'm just saying the idea that there's nothing in there that is of public interest, that is obviously a bridge too far for many people, including many people that voted for Donald Trump.
If you enjoyed that, make sure that you never miss another video by subscribing. And if you want a little more, consider hitting the join button and becoming an actual member. But you're probably wondering, why the hell would I do that, John? First off, calm down. The stakes in this are very, very low. But also, when you click the join button and you become a member, you get access to bonus content that I make every week, and it's a ton of fun. You get access to tons of custom emojis and more besides that. By the way, if you join at tier 3, you even get access to a monthly member hangout with myself and other awesome people, and we always have a great time. By the way, you'll get all that going forward, but you also unlock years of the back catalog. That is literally 100 or more bonus clips, top 10 lists, debates, and more. What are you waiting for? Click the join button below. Your support powers our show, and we couldn't do it without you. Or at the very least, I wouldn't really want to try. Viewers like you keep me here. So thank you in advance for joining.